The 10th Man View of National Security. Technology of Behavior and Success Models Part 1. The real question is not whether machines think but whether men do. The mystery which surrounds a thinking machine already surrounds a thinking man. B. F. Skinner, Contingencies of Reinforcement. A Theoretical Analysis, 1969. Almost all major problems involve human behavior, and they cannot be solved by physical and biological technology alone. What is needed is a technology of human behavior. B. F. Skinner, Beyond Freedom and Dignity, 1971. October 2022 was an interesting month. It started with Meta, the parent company of Instagram and Facebook, securing a mention in the terrorists and extremists groups list issued by Rosfinmonitoring, the Russian financial monitoring agency, and ended with Twitter's freeing the bird. In the middle of some highly tense strategic debates, these developments came as a fresh reminder about the typical Western approach that lectures humanity at breakfast, facilitates crisis at lunch, and sells justice, equality, freedom at the dinner table. It is important here to note that the bird which Twitter's new boss is claiming to set free, with his "the bird is free" tweet, is not an ordinary bird. It's a bird that a whole generation of Western behaviorists worked hard to cage inside their experiment box and invested heavily in its conditioning behavior modification methods, and this bird has now reached a point where, like a typical addict of casino and gambling sports, it is ready to pay the price for her own manipulation. There is something about the nature of digital tech products which attracts behaviorist thinking. There is also a background behind the character of current tech products, which is influenced by a scientific movement called behaviorism that surfaced nearly in parallel to the tech developments of the previous century. But the question is, if such an influential movement existed, why have we never heard about it in the popular discussions? In some societies there is a tendency to express disagreement with certain things in public while embracing them in private. The movement which shaped the core ideas of current tech improvisations is one such uncomfortable incident in the recent past that largely remained ignored and sidelined from the mainstream of conversations on the state of digital technology. It was a movement that was dominated by not some superficial entities, such as tech geeks, college dropouts, or garage entrepreneurs, but some real-world Western behaviorists like B. F. Skinner, who once argued that, if the world is to save any part of its resources for the future, it must reduce not only consumption but the number of consumers. And its impact was not limited to tech alone. Careful observation reveals that such behaviorists and their strategies' methodical systems have greatly influenced Western culture, from their educational designs, social theories, political moves, and economic exchanges to broader engagements with the rest of the world. And those strategies sometimes work too. This essay attempts to discover such infamous architects of the technology industry and their infamous experiments related to human behavior and psychology, which form the core of the platforms where over 800 million smartphone users of India are now engaged, day-night. If these improvisations had been restricted to technology, education, or entertainment alone, we could have afforded to ignore them. But according to some recent trends, India, one of the most online countries of the world, is now marching on a path to becoming a top performer in the tech-driven creator economy too, where from a 3-year-old baby to an 80-year-old grandma, everyone has something to show and to earn for. The need, therefore, is to have an overview of these emerging patterns and their implications on influencing the character of our society, economy, religion, and political life from a national security perspective. History tells us that creating, nurturing, promoting, and sustaining success models is a serious business of powerful countries of the world. It's a business with which every post-colonial society, including Bharat, is quite familiar, as a large part of their modern history is nothing but a tale of fighting the acceptance of those success models in the minds of their people. Now, this business has a partnership with digital technology, and technology, as we know, often brings in ease of doing business.